All right, everybody, welcome to Crypto Chat Africa. And yeah, you see the title right here. And we got a lot of things to talk about when it comes to trading. Look, I know trading is very frustrating, and you might be looking like this guy got your hand in your head, and you're just looking down like, what is going on? I'm already struggling, and it doesn't seem like trading is making my situation better, right? You know, if you're already struggling and trading isn't going well for you, let's kind of look at it like this. See, this is probably how it started. You probably told your woman or your guy and said, "Hey, look, here's this here's this thing we can do." Whether it was 2017 craze, whether it was the 2021, 2022, or whatever, right? You said, "Hey, look, we can do this thing called cryptocurrency." And then the other person's like, "What's that?" She's saying, "What's that?" Most likely it's a guy doing this. So saying, "Hey, we could put our money in it." So you're over here, you saying, "Hey, you got some money?" Right? Let's say that you're in Nigeria. Hey, you got like 100K. Let's start asking friends and family. I know some people they had DM'd me. They said they had raised 5 million and they blew it. I'm like, huh? But wait a minute, I'm getting premature. So let's say you raise the money together. You get 1 million, 2 million, 3 million. Or maybe you just got 100K in your pocket, right? And this was before inflation. So remember, this is back or before this higher inflation. So the Naira rate wasn't 13 or 1400 per dollar. It was more like 700, like 50% lower now. But it was stronger. Even a year and a half, 2 years ago, 50% stronger. Just think about that. Not the official government rate. So you're looking at the phone, you're like, yeah, we can get this. We're about to make some money. Look at how much these NFTs were going. Wow. Look at how much this thing called Ethereum. Forget about Bitcoin. Bitcoin's already 40, 55,000. We can get this other cryptocurrency. One coin, scam. And then all these other people lost it. Okay, cool. And then only a few months later. Because remember, in 2022, that's kind of when it started the bear market. First, it was the first wave, and then it knocked you out, knocked your ass out. Then FTX. So here we go. Now it's or maybe that was 2023. No, that was 2022. So then it's like this. Now she's mad at your ass. Now y'all might be saying, "Hey, wait a minute. What does this got to do with trading?" This has everything to do with trading. This is the life cycle of most of the traders. You said, "Hey, friends, family, girlfriend, hey, put your money in here with me." I know I did that before, right? You're saying, "Hey, put your money in here with me. Nothing could go wrong. Nothing at all." I know I just found out about this yesterday or a few weeks ago. And yeah, I kind of heard about it about 5 or 6 years ago, but I didn't pay attention to it. But now we're kind of really broke and struggling, so we need the money. So let's put it in this thing because look, in 1 month, this thing called Shiba Inu just went crazy. It made some guy a millionaire, and all he had, supposedly, was $500. And 1 month, 2 months later, he's got a million. That's crazy. So let's put it there. We may not have that much, but if we do the same or similar, we could have 100K and imagine, babe, we got 50K, 50 million. Or let's just use other currencies here. We may have, 100, 200, 100, $150, but imagine if we can get 15,000, $50,000, $100,000. That will be okay. We will be living life because once we have that, there's no turning back. Okay, cool. But then it ends up like this. You came back and then you said, well, you see, we're kind of broke. Kind of got your hand in your pocket. She's like, hey, we got bills to pay. We got to pay the light. We got fuel fee because we have a gym. We got so many other things going on. Yeah, scratching your head now. And then now she's pointing a finger and said, "Nigga, you told me that this was gonna be good. Okay, you told me this was gonna be good. It's been nothing but wahala. Isn't that what some people say, wahala? It's been nothing but freaking problems from the start. We made money in the beginning, but you didn't sell. Didn't I tell you to sell? Now y'all have arguments back and forth. Didn't I tell you to sell? And then you say, but babe, we only were up 50K. Yeah, that's 50K more than we got now. We got zero. And we started with 100K, but because we got excited that it was 50K up, now you convinced me to borrow from my mom and my cousins and my friends. So now, not only did we lose our 100K that we put together, then I added more of my own. You added more of your own. We lost another 150K. Then we borrowed from them. We're down 1.5 million. That's what she's saying. Okay, no, no, no. It gets worse. Now she's yelling, she's knocking your ass out. Maybe you trying to hit her back or something. Really shouldn't, but God, it's your fault. All right. Okay. Now you got your hand in your head. The stress is mounting. You're like, man, the world is on my shoulders. This government's not working here. The Bahari government wasn't working. Now we got the Tinubu government that seems even worse. Then we gonna have the this XYZ government in the future. You're just saying, oh my goodness, we got Rudo here, and he seems like he's just turning everything over on his head. What is going on? Can we get Julius Malema in South Africa so we could turn things around? That's what every country in different countries in Africa thinking all of these things going on. But at the end of the day, you put your money in there. She put it in there. You went on leverage. You found a group like mine, the not financial advice group, that was over here saying, I'm sharing my mindset. And if I got that little, that would be kind of hard pressed to put leverage on it. But I can't legally give financial advice. I could just show you my mindset, and with my mindset, if I got that, I'm working my ass something else. Got to work something else. Got to work my ass a job till I find this out. But hey, everybody's in different financial situations, and they have assessed their own situation. So now we go to this. It goes back and forth. You're saying, hey, we got some money here. We worked it off. We got that. And then it goes to, we broke again. Then it goes to finger pointing, head in hand, back to here. Then we're broke again, finger pointing, head in hand, back to here. All right? Okay. Then this is what happens. You become the old folks that you're seeing around. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to take my wallet out, and nothing but dust is coming out of my wallet. Nothing but the red clay mud is coming out of this wallet right now. Matter of fact, my wallet got holes in it and it's falling apart. That's how little money I got. I can't even get a wallet, a proper wallet, to keep up with this. You're going to be the old folks. You started as the young broke folks. Now you became the old broke folks. But wait a minute. There's a way that, maybe you could turn it around. Maybe you could turn it around. And that's where Crypto Chat Africa may just come in handy, because we have a discussion group and we have discussions, and yeah, we got a little paid thing, and it's $10 a month, and we setting this stuff up now. But you got a public discussion group, and there's been people in there that say, hey, you know what, I haven't done a trade in this many years, and they've been sitting in there soaking up the information we put. Hey, that's not our problem, right? That's not your problem either. That's not my problem. We are a discussion group, and we facilitate these things so that we can make common sense mindset things. Now, on one of our previous videos, we had something called the Bank of Trading Value. I posted that one up there. And guess what? That was actually one of my least viewed videos. Isn't that crazy? Maybe I should have put somebody with their ass hanging out and twerk it. We got some of those here too. We post that up in the chat group. We post some of that stuff up. Fun and entertainment. But you know what's not fun? Being broke and struggling. That's not fun. You know what's not entertaining? Your life If you were watching somebody else's life on TV, maybe that's entertaining. Maybe you watch it online, that's entertaining to you. We're adults. Even children at the age of 3, 4, and 5. You ain't gotta no 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 no. Don't be like, oh, let kids be kids. No, you gotta start educating them now. All these other groups of people. Now remember, this is Crypto Chat Africa, so I'm talking about black people. All these other non-black groups of people, they are on regimes, they're governments. India and China's government putting their kids in IT, spreading them out over the whole planet and absorbing these things. They getting them so early. Chinese students already doing calculus and they're like 13 and 12 and 14 years old. Coincidentally, right around when I learned it, because I spoke to somebody, they say, oh yeah, I kind of learned it around that age too. Over where I'm from, I'm like, hey, look, I'm learning it around 11, 12. They say, oh yeah, that's right around when I learned it. I started learning there too. Well, that wasn't the accent, but So I said, oh, okay, very interesting. That's rare among my people, but that seems to be common where you are. Okay. So they're already getting ahead. So, if you're going to do trading and everything, you would think you would introduce nieces and nephews to some of this thing too, but it will require you to have skill. And this is the most important part. Now that we're 11 minutes in, it probably put some people to sleep. And so, forget you then. If you can't have the patience to get through that introduction that allows you to set the stage for what I'm about to say now, then we don't need you. We don't want you. We want the people that are serious here, that are coming to this like a professional. This is not for the hobbyist. Yeah, not financial advice. Because we're going to focus on the other side of trading. I can show you every single pattern, and I've been doing that over the years, talking about pattern this, pattern that. Here's how to do this, here's how to do that from my perspective, of course. And yet, people, they just kind of were like one ear and out the other. So on this one, we talked about the bank of trading value, where you got deposits, withdrawals, overdraft fees, just like a real bank. I'm not going to go over the full thing here, but you know what a deposit is? One of the deposits would be productivity, results. And remember, I said that 2024 is the year of results. And when I say results, it's already implied positive because we had a bozo the clown that said, well, couldn't results be negative? If I said this is a deposit, then you already know when you deposit something into your bank, aren't you adding something? So that means this is already implied that it's positive, dummy. Yeah, that idiot asked that question. There is a such thing as a dumb question, and that was one of them. So we got results. This is the year of results. We're not taking no excuses. If you come up short at the end of December 2024, December 31st, 2024, that ain't nothing but your fault. If you saw this video, you saw the one where I said, where you going to be in 2024? Are you at where you want to be in 2023? If you saw that and you didn't make any changes, and you know how your governments are, you know how these economies are, and yes, there are forces to hold you back. But if you didn't make any of your own real effort, not a half assed effort, it ain't nothing but your fault. It's like saying, oh, it's raining outside. You can't control the rain, but you can protect yourself with an umbrella. You don't got an umbrella, you got a coat that you can put over your head and not wear it. Or if you don't got that, you can, put some leaves together and put them there, or you can tough it out through the rain and get where you're going and get soaked, but you got where you're going instead of not going there because it's raining. If it's not raining that hard, then you're rather safe. You just get a little bit wet. Just protect your phone and whatever else is important with something, plastic bag or something. Wrap it up, multiple layers, because the rain can get through one layer. You got another layer and another layer and another layer. Okay. You can't control the rain, aka many of these forces out here, but what you can do is control how you react to that said rain, how you prepare in advance for that said rain. We know it's going to rain. We know it's going to get hot. We know it's going to get cold relative to your climate, of course, because cold to one person is different than cold to another. Some places snow and other places don't. You know it's going to rain. You know, if you're in one of these countries, it's going to be a drought. So why are you not preparing for that? Every day you've been struggling and saying this. This is what you were doing. You were doing this. You see these two on the screen? That's what you were doing. But also, and I understand this. I understand this feeling. You were doing this. And not only that, you were doing this. You had your hand in your head. But what we don't have the luxury to do, we don't have the luxury. We don't have the luxury. I'm telling you, we don't have the luxury of sitting like that too long. Because guess what? Especially since most of my audience will be men. As men, you don't got a chance to do that. You got to get yourself up, pull yourself up, dust yourself off, and go there. Now, what are we going to do? Now, let's go back to the bank of trading value. We're not going to go over what happened there on that video. Where is it at? Here we go. But what I will do is I'll add some things to that video. So, this is what I asked myself. I said 2024, time to buy my freedom. Time to buy my freedom. How much does my freedom cost? I put a number. Now let's say that we're going to pretend like this is somebody else because I'm going to help them now. And this is how we're going to do a thought experiment because how you prepare is what happens when you're in the middle of that trade. Let's say you got 10x leverage, 100x leverage, or in some cases 1000x leverage, or a spot market. How do you a trade? How do you approach these trades? I'm glad you asked because here's the mindset behind it. Because this is literally the difference. I had to keep writing these notes down, and this is how I analyzed myself on how I kept losing on this other technique. And then after I got there, because I was doing really well in December, then the first week of January I started messing up again, and I just went back and said, "Oh yeah, I didn't follow my rules." So I was like, yeah, and then when I took a break and then came back, I was like, oh, yeah, I'm doing good again because I needed a break. We do need a break from that mentally. If you can't get out of that mode, step back away from it, observe yourself, cool off, and then you come back. So this is some self reflection here. Now, let's say that we're having this here, and you can write this down at home. Time to buy my freedom. How much does my freedom cost? Now, to come up with that number, you would look at it like, okay, how much is not how much money do you need in order to retire? That's a different question because you could be free. Freedom is more like you don't have to stress out over having to go to work. Now, we all have to work. So that no matter what, that's with us forever. Whether you got enough money to retire, because guess what? These people that aren't really doing anything, most of them, I'm pretty sure there's a few exceptions, but these people that aren't doing anything because they were a trust fund baby and everything, they gotta work to keep their money with them, or else they just are dumb and gullible and they just use all their money and blow it, and they abuse everybody around them, and then eventually, if they ain't working the right way, those people that say, "Hey, this person abused me," nobody's covering for them. They just say all this dude got is money, personality's horrible, he's trash, and everything else. And if the first sign of trouble, they're turning and splitting on your ass and putting the knife back there. You got stabbed, and they're just watching. They didn't even have to stab you. They're watching. Matter of fact, they might help the person say, "Let me just push this a couple inches, centimeters deeper into this person." So everybody's got to work. You got to work to build friends. You got to work to build money. You got to work to build a relationship. You got to work to keep your fitness, to keep your health. So we got to work. So that number is that the number you come up with is how you don't have to go to work if for whatever reason, maybe there's an emergency or something. Like right now, you might have to go. Your family members might be in the hospital, and you take off a day or two, and that could change your life drastically. Saying, "Damn, I could take it off, but man, that's gonna affect my life. I can't take off a whole month if I wanted to. That's where I'm talking about. If you could take off a month, not that you could take off for the rest of your life. So that freedom number, how much does my freedom cost? Here it is. So let's imagine that your number was, let's say for, hmm, we got a lot of people from Nigeria and Kenya. So I'm going to pick up between both of them and just say, you know what? I'll do it this way. All right. So I had to just do something real quick and say, look, let's do it this way. If we were to look at the number in US dollars, we're going to look at it like this. Now, this would be 500,000 in Kenya shillings. But let's just say it's just over $3,000. Let's say that you said $3,000 would give you your freedom. Now, I would argue maybe 10,000 at the very least five, and that's stretching it in most of it. Now, you might say, oh, man, 3,000 is a lot. Nah, not even where you're at. No. You know why? You might say, wow, I see 3,000 over 2 or 3 years. Yeah, that's the whole point, 2, 3 years. But if you need to actively use some of that money because you're trading to make more money, that number then goes down, okay, drastically. Because that all isn't just your money in your pocket that you could freely spend or save. You're using that as investment money. So now that number has to go up. Okay. So when we're calculating what is our freedom cost, we got to factor in, we got to have this money here. And if we mess up on a trade, we need to have access to this money. So the number is actually higher. So let's just be safer if our number, if we had a regular job and we say, hey, we didn't need to trade, but we are. The number would be 3,000 US dollars. Let's go more than three times that amount and say 10,000 US dollars because it's a nice round. Instead of nine, let's go 10,000 US dollars. Okay, let's make it easy. So 10,000 US dollars is the end result. We start backwards. Now, the question you ask yourself, how will I achieve this freedom? And we start coming up with answers. You start to consider what your personal weakness is. But here's some things that I will add to the bank of trade and value, which we have on the screen right now. Now, remember how here the deposits were results, focus, consistency, calmness, aka clarity, and quote, personality. This is where, when you ask yourself, how will I achieve this freedom? You need to think of your weaknesses, which would be in your personality, which would be withdrawals, and then come up with the positive answer for it. So let's say that you're really hectic, which would be opposite of calmness, obviously. So you could say trade slowly, slow trading. Many of you want to be scalpers too, saying, hey, that's quick money. Okay, but do you have the personality type to handle the almost instant liquidation or the in and out of that? Maybe you don't. So instead of you doing multiple trades, because some people go press, 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 press. I've run into them. They say, yeah, I just pressed this so much. They're using 10 cents, which is 10% of a dollar. Then they lose $130 in just a few minutes because they just keep pressing. They do this. They're just doing, I know y'all can hear the clicks. Click, 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 click. Then they stop. Click, 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 click. And it's like, yeah, in that case, you should have just used $5, clicked it once, got liquidated, waited a couple minutes, used $5 again, because in that case, you actually might have come up with earning some money. If you were gonna do that, I mean, that's the way I'm looking at it. If I'm using that, I'll do that. Or I'll still use the same 10 cents, but I'll wait, click it once, liquidate it, click it twice, liquidate it, and then occasionally sometimes it's three or four, but then I'll stop. Wait, 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 wait. Here's 30 seconds went by. Click, liquidate it, wait, 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 wait. 40 seconds, 20 seconds, 2 minutes, 3 minutes go by. Click. Oh shoot, there's $1.30. I lost. 50, 60 cents. Now I got an extra 30 cents on top of that because I did the opposite. So I trade slowly. Here's the most important thing for a mindset to have. Do not, do not, and I repeat this, do not chase money. Is the number one mindset we got to have in our head. Like I said, not financial advice, because this ain't really about the finances necessarily. We just deal with money here. So it's like we got to talk about that, but it's you don't chase the money. Just like how it's you don't chase the man, you don't chase the woman. Okay? You attract them. You attract the women. You attract, you may bring somebody to your attention, right? But you're not chasing that person. You bring them to your attention by your accomplishments or by your feminine personality and fitness and all of that stuff, by your male personality and fitness and accomplishments and finances and all of that stuff. These are the things that you do because there are broke people with massive personalities, massive standing on their uh, standing on their opinion, very opinionated, and they're not about to let you shake them off unless it's a good reason to shake them off. And yet they got women hanging all over. So it's not about the money, right? Yeah, it's partially about that, but it's not all about the money. Because if that were the case, well, we would have something a little bit different. That might be primarily about the money. But if you don't have the personality, you're trying to use money to make up for it. So here's the same thing. Do not chase the money. The money in this case would be like the woman. You're not chasing that woman. You are attracting that woman. Okay? Now let's go back here where I got this banner up. Bank of Trade and Value. Also, we're not really trying to worry about time. This is something that was my personal weakness. Do not worry about time because I have set time frames for myself. And sometimes we might be a little bit behind on it, and then you got to adjust to get more accurate and more accurate and more accurate. But I had put the pressure on myself with the time, which then will then default to chasing the money. Because think about it, if you have a time frame, you say these bills are due here, or else they're gonna do this, which is what we always have a constant pressure of. You got your fuel, you got your power, right? The electricity, you got your data plan and everything like that. You say, damn, every day I got to pay for this data and I'm not making money fast enough with this trading. I need to do something now. But then you think about it at the end of the day, most of the time when you do that, you're losing money. Yeah, occasionally you might get lucky and make some money. But if you think about it and say, hey, they were going to cut off my data anyway, had I not done this and lost out of the last 15 times I did this, I lost freaking 12 or 13. And yeah, the two, I made some money. But when I put all the losses plus the money I made together, I'm at a massive freaking loss. It wasn't worth it. So I need to stop worrying about time. I am still here in this apartment. I am still here on the internet because I'm watching this video. I am still here and alive and not homeless. So now I need to stop worrying about the time. I need to stop putting that as a factor because if I have a time problem, that means I'm not making enough money outside of trading because I'm just an amateur trader now trying to be a professional. See, that's the thing there. And then when you become a professional trader, as we become professional traders, then we start to put bigger money amounts there. That's also then the problem. It's like, wow, at first, $1,000, first, $100, at first, $10. I need to make $10 by the end of today, and all I got is $10. But I need $10 to then keep trading for the next day. So I need to make another 10 so that I could keep the 10 that's in this account so I could keep going tomorrow. So now I'm stressing out over that, which is now I'm chasing the money. See? You see how that works? I'm also not trading slowly. I'm frantic. I am also not trading calmly because I need to make this now. You see? But instead, If we just say, hey, look, whatever gonna happen. I need to make what I can make today. And then if my, data package runs out or whatever, I'm gonna have to wait a few days. I gotta do something else. Maybe I go for public Wi-Fi somewhere else, go to a friend's place. Yeah, it's inconvenient. Whatever I gotta do, I need to do it in my own time. If all I can make today is $2, hey, that's $2 extra I made. That's 20% off of this 10. If all I can make is 20 cents, yeah, that's 2%. Hey, that's 20 cents more than what I started with today. And then the next day, if I could somehow find enough money to have this internet on, to pay for this hotel, to do that, yes, to pay for the hotel. Because remember, I told you guys when I was temporarily homeless. I'm trying to remember. Is that the first time or the second time? I'm getting my time frames mixed up. But yeah, when I had the when that Cryptopia hack happened, that's where it was. So when that Cryptopia hack happened, and all of that stuff went down after that, I'm over here. The only money I had was basically enough to basically pay for the hotel because I was traveling in hotels anyway, and that was kind of it. Barely anything for food. The hotels give you food in the morning and everything like that. Where the hotels I was staying in anyway. So I'm telling you from personal experience about the hotel thing. Every day, $50. I'm getting them down and negotiating. I'm like, look, I was paying 30 days in advance here. Can y'all give me the same rate? And don't do the taxes or anything like that because I've already stayed here for a while. Something happened and I don't have the money anymore because I had basically all my money there. Can you guys give me that? And every day it was like 2.5 or 3 months. If I made a single mistake, I'm out. So I'm just making it here. Let me call up this person. I'll borrow it from them. Say, hey, I'll give it back to you same day. These are things I'm telling you personal experience here. Hey, I'll give it back to you same day. Now that's one of the worst things. First, I gotta pay a hotel today. Then I'm telling them I'll give them back the same day. So now I gotta do double that because I did mess up. That's why I'm borrowing. Not borrowing so I can make money faster with a larger amount, which then increases the risk anyway. But I'm like, okay, now I gotta make up this. And most of those times I did do it. But then it came a point where I couldn't do it and I was actually homeless after that. But I lasted a good 2.5 months. I was struggling. Then I was like, dang, I can't do it anymore. And some of those times they extended the period of time because I was there for so long. I knew the managers. I even knew the owner. I said, hey, here we go. And then here's this. They're like, hey, I can't get you an extra day. Now, that was before the owner. Once the owner came, then the owner extended it. Then I just had to be like, yeah, I don't got it. I gotta go. Then I'm homeless for 2, 3 months. And then I had to make do what it do. Then that's when I figured out leverage trading because that was before leverage trading. I'm just doing spot market trading. Got to pay 50 uh, to 70 US dollars all the time, every single day. Now let's go to the next one. That's why I said don't worry about time. Sometimes we're in situations like that. Hey, you know what? If that's the case, if I am like that, and some of you guys say I don't want to go back to the village with my parents and everything like that, if you're making your money primarily through trading, it might pay you to be in the village. You can get internet out there instead of this. Finding some people to double and triple up on an apartment so that you can do this, so that you can save substantial amounts of money. I'm just saying. But anyway, or do something else. Come back to trading later. That's what I had to do. I had to come back to trading later. I still had the Discord. I told everybody about the hack and everything like that. And but anyway, that's for later, all the other details. I did have to go to other things. I was delivering because I did have a car, and the car was breaking down. I didn't have enough money to keep maintenance. And I had a car. I'm delivering boat parts from one place to another. They're having me drive all over the place. Some guy that was having a church had meat from the 1980s in his freezer, and he said, "Oh, this is still good. I want to donate this somewhere." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm about to throw this in a dumpster." It's the it's basically but 39 degrees. I'm translating it to Celsius, even though I would say Fahrenheit. But it's 39 degrees. Y'all know that's real hot. So I got this in my car as I'm loading it up, and it takes me about an hour to load all that meat up. So I'm doing that. By that point, it starts to thaw. I can smell how rancid it is. Even with that heat, it shouldn't have been smelling like that. It was dead. It was already bad. It was smelling actually before it started to thaw. That's how bad it. But then I had the car trunk closed and everything. Let me get focused back onto this after I finish this too, by the way. So that's the type of stuff I was doing. I'm doing all types of odd jobs, just delivering things here, there. Here's a part here. The people with the boat parts, man, they had money. I was like, okay, let me try to keep on getting jobs with these people, but that was just few and far between. So I'm building up money there, and eventually I have enough, and then I come back into trading. But for about a month and a half, I'm not. I'm looking at the chart. I'm still running a Discord and everything like that, and uh, obviously people didn't see me talk about my trades because I wasn't doing them. I'm talking about, hey, where I see the market going and things like that, but I'm not talking about my trades because I don't want to be inauthentic to people. So now that's when I stopped worrying about time too. I'm like, shoot, I'm already homeless. Now I don't want to be here. That sucked. That sucked. I gotta say that was one of the worst parts of my life. Almost being homeless was actually worse than being homeless. Like oh my goodness, I'm about to be homeless or I'm about to go back into homelessness. Because that's a precarious situation. To come right out of it, you kind of very vulnerable. That right there, those feel worse as far as the mental health wise than actually being homeless. I gotta tell you, just from the experience of being homeless, because it's like, oh, it sucks. I'm already out. I'm already half with no place. So how will I achieve this freedom? Trade slowly. Don't chase money. Don't worry about time. When I was homeless, there is no worrying about time. It's just more like I just gotta calm myself down about how much this sucks, how little sleep I'm getting, and all that. But actually, I had some of the best trading there. Remember that $50 to 6,000? That's where that happened, and I'm like, hey, I'm good. Uh, uh, Woman I was dating told me, hey, why don't you get in a hotel now? I was so nervous. It was like I had shell shock, and eventually I did. Once I got to 10,000, finally got back into hotels and everything like that. I guess I could have got an apartment, but got into hotels, and then the rest is history. Now let's go here. Here's something to remember. Here's something to remember. Take breaths when you need to take breaths. If you need to take a breather, breathe. Actually, it's take breaks when you need to take breaks. But breaths, breaks, same thing. You go. You see how that was, or even slower. Just do those things. Now, this might seem silly, but who online is talking about this when it comes to trading? Absolutely nobody. Are they really trading? Do they know what it feels like to lose? Because a lot of these people can just make it seem like they win all the time. Sometimes 2, 5, 10, 30 minutes, an hour, going to sleep, can help you. Sometimes they can because it's mentally so hard on us to trade, especially when we're broke. Let's just be realistic. Most of y'all not going to listen. Most of y'all not going to say, well, he did say multiple times that if we too broke to be trading, we need to do something else. Most of y'all not going to listen. So I'm going to give mindset information based on what I know to be most people. They're just not going to listen. And since we're going to trade anyway, as people, whether we're broke or not, if we want to do it, we're going to do it. Okay, at least I can help with this because it's going to be mentally hard, whether you got money or not. It's a lot easier when you got money and you got other things that you're doing. But if you've been trying to make this your primary thing, whether you got money or not, this will still weigh on you a little bit mentally. So that's what it is. Breathe, relax. It's okay. Tomorrow's going to happen anyway. The next few hours. The crypto market's open 24 hours, 7 days a week, unlike the stock market, unlike Forex. This is literally all day, every day. This moment right here, eh, it passes. Now, similar to what I said earlier about do not chase money. Let's say if you find yourself getting attached to a profit amount, okay, remember this. Okay, I want y'all to remember this. Write this one down too. If you just made a profit of, let's say, $100, right? Let's say $100. You started with, let's say you did a miracle. You started with $10, 10 US dollars, and somehow you got that to 110. So that's $100 profit. Exactly. See, not $90 because that would be 100. Now, if you got $100 profit, and let's say it's been pretty much almost straight up. You barely lost anything here and there. You might lose a couple of pennies, a couple of cents, a dollar or two. And then you're like, hey, phew, it took me 3 months to build that up. And now, over the course of maybe the day or a few minutes, you lost $10. Now, in your head, you're like, it took me 3 whole months to do that, which is down, up, down, up, down, up, tiny bits and pieces. But it still took you, it could have taken you multiple days to even get $10 at first until you got bigger amounts. Now you lost $10 in a few minutes or in that day, and you let it rattle you. Here's something to remember: you built it before, you can build it again. Because you know what? No matter how long it took you to get there, it's hard as hell trading up from $0. This is why we see these people not knowing when to take profits. They have an account, and we see these Reddit stories. Some of them probably true, some of them probably not. But let's just assume for educational purposes and demonstrational purposes that most of them are true. And we see these people with 1,000, 10,000, $100,000 in their account. And especially the ones that are crazy, they barely got anything, $500, 1,000, $10,000. There's barely anything in the world of trading. Okay. So they got those. Then the account goes up to 50,000. They don't take profit. 100,000, they don't take profit. 125, 500,000, and maybe they did finally take profit somewhere in those hundreds of thousands. But then it goes to zero and it goes lower, and then they're like, oh, I could build it up again. They still didn't take the money out. They quote took profit because they closed the trade, but they didn't pay themselves. They didn't take anything out from themselves. I could tell you from personal experience of me doing that too. That's why that Cryptopia hack affected me. I didn't take anything for myself. So they didn't take anything for themselves. Pulling it out, pulling it out, pulling it out of that trade, and then putting it into other trades. Okay, great. It took them 5 months, 6 months, 2 years. They built it up, bam, gone in a month. Matter of fact, it don't even matter if it's another 2, 3, 4, 5 years to lose. Most of the time, it's lost very quickly, though. But here's the point: no matter how long it took you to build that mess up, guess what? It takes longer to trade in from $0. You had raised one what 6,000 US dollars in your account from friends and family. Very risky if you're inexperienced, especially. You raised money from friends and family. You raised it from your girlfriend. Let's go back up to this image right here where I said this is where we started at, right? This is where you started at. Hey, look, it's this thing called Bitcoin, babe. Okay, but it's not, nothing is worse and nothing is harder than trading up from $0 because you got emotionally attached to that profit amount. And instead of saying, yeah, I lost it in a few seconds and it took me a whole 2 weeks to build up this amount. And I said, well, it's almost very unlikely that I am going to make that up. And if it, because I have a trading journal, it said if I lose $10, stop trading for the day. So instead of listening to my trading journal, I said, well, you know what? I know better. And a couple of times I will get lucky. I'm talking like if I'm the other person now. A couple of times you're going to get lucky now. But guess what? It's not going to be on our side. Statistically speaking, there's going to be one or two people or something like that that, you know, here's a monkey tapping on the keyboard. And statistically speaking, because it's got to be possible, right? Somebody is going to have just like the most massive luck. And then you're going to look at them and say, this person's an idiot. How did they take $10 up to $5 million? I should be able to do that if this idiot can do it. Nah, that's just luck was on their side. You can even tell from listening to them, they don't even know what they're talking about with trading. Because they try to share their information, and then you're like, huh, this doesn't even make sense. This person just happened to get lucky every time. Gambling. So, again, no matter how long it took you to build that profit amount, don't chase the money. Don't get attached to it. If you didn't pull it out for yourself, it's not real yet. It takes longer to trade from nothing with the dust in your wallet. Remember the dust in the wallet, it takes longer to trade from this than it does from trading with only a part of your money lost and walking away. That's what I got for today. Guys, let me know what you think. I think we're gonna have more videos on this. I need to figure out how and I gotta be more consistent with this. You know, I'm trading most of the time, so I think I need to just record my videos on Sundays. Because those are the days that I'll be doing the live streams and teaching people. You know, that's $10 a month that we're gonna have. I think I'm gonna make it more accessible for people. So $10 a month. We're gonna do the live streams. We're gonna talk about subjects like this a lot of times, not financial advice, of course. We're not gonna be talking about the trading patterns too much. And the reason being is because there's a bunch of trading pattern videos out there. Most of them don't know what they're talking about, and most of these patterns are irrelevant. Though the patterns that I have seen are the ones that I talk about, and people, even if you know the pattern, even if you know something is true, if your emotions are not aligned with that, a lot of times you're going to do something else. You know, when these people play bridge or chess, they have to have their emotions in check. It's not that they don't feel the emotion when somebody is going against them in that game. They just train themselves over so many mental simulations and physical simulations that, aka practice, that's what that is. That's a simulation. Practice is a simulation. They've done it so many damn times that when they're in a match, the best players, until they go against AI, I guess, the best players are there having their emotions in check so that it doesn't distract them from the game that they're playing. I highly suggest people to watch professional chess players, professional bridge players. Watch them. Watch the best ones. Because if you're watching the top players there, not against the AI, because that's not practical for you. You want to see human versus human. So if you see the top players and they're there and you're like, wow, I don't know what's going on, but I see this other person's face and their face looks frustrated. And then you start to see that person starts to lose and lose some more and lose some more, and then boom, they lost. So even if I tell you the perfect pattern, even if somebody else, you get an actual financial advisor and they say X, Y, Z, and you are in control of your own money, what you're going to do is you're going to bump it up. You're going to blow your account because you don't have emotional self control. And these things that I talked about here happen to be, in my opinion, the most important part of trading. Because for those people that are afraid of when to get out, notice you're afraid, an emotion of fear. You notice that, right? You're afraid. You don't know when. You're confused. You're confused on when to get out. Why? Maybe it's greed. Maybe you're feeling greed. Maybe you're feeling fear. You got all of these doubts in your head. You don't know when to get out. You don't know when to get in. You definitely don't know when to get out because you're like, wow, I made some money. Now I made 10%. Well, will 10% go to 50%? And 50% go to 100%, which is double, 2x? Will 2x go to 10x? Wow, I think I can get 10x. No, no. That 2x was about what you could get. But you don't know. You don't know what you don't know. And if you train yourself, well, it's not that you're not going to lose money. It's not that it's impossible for you to lose money. It's not that you can just guaranteed win either. But what it does is it makes it easier to win and it makes it more simple and easier to avoid those losses. So I will catch you all on the next video. Peace.